We don't have to go in the family tree for this one. Y'all know my pops. He was just on the channel and he goes by LeBrick James. This story isn't out of the norm because y'all just heard about my cousin Danji, who really started this football stuff for my family and I. I just so happen to be next up. First off, my name is Bernard James. The name simply means bear strength. Now before y'all start making fun of my name, I get that a lot at school already.
Hey look y'all, Bernard James. That's why your daddy in jail for the rest of his life, nigga.
Okay, that last one was crazy. I definitely swung on him, but yeah, y'all know my pop's story and that he's in prison for the rest of his life, which leads us to this part of the story where we picking things up, but a little backstory. My mama didn't know she was pregnant by my pops until she went to the doctor. Blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, I was born, frequent visits to the prison to see my pops. Fast forward 16 years later, here we are. Obviously, my family is a huge part of my life, but it doesn't define who I am. Even more unfortunately, even if I wanted to hoop like everyone else, I didn't make the height cut. I got the worst part of my pop's genes, short and stocky. I'm only 5'11", 175 pounds. Like I said, basketball wasn't my thing, but my pops kept reassuring me that even though I wasn't the tallest, I was still destined to be an athlete. He even told me how you guys would suggest he play football, and that's where my journey began. I've been playing football all my life, really, but I didn't really start taking it seriously until the 11th grade. I learned what I could learn in a short amount of time, and it's my senior year in high school, and I'm looking to make waves the same way my family does on the court. There's a lot more I need to learn, and I feel like I can only do that with more touches and experience. And we all know Danji really paved the way for this, so I was getting advice from him all the time. It's always good linking up with the big cuz. I was coming in my senior year as a 1-star running back, and that's enough for the introduction. Let's get into some football. My senior year debut and the team was struggling, especially me. I wasn't really hitting my holes the way I should, and it was showing on the stat sheet. But on 2nd and 10, coach called a screen and I would finally see a big game, picking up 18 yards and breaking a tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 15, I'm getting the delayed handoff, picking up a tough 8 yards. Then from the 1-yard line, I'm sneaking into the end zone, getting my first tutty of my senior year with hopes of going up from there. 2nd and 10 with 10 seconds left in the game, I'm trying to run through some of these guys and it's just not working for me, only picking up 4 yards. Further up the field, on 1st and 10 from the 40, I'm getting absolutely destroyed, lifted off my feet, picking up 4 yards again. 2nd and 12, coach is looking to me to make 3rd down more manageable, and I do that, fighting and being pushed from my lineman down to the 5. Now we're 5 wide, and I'm just here so I don't get fined, as our tight end comes down with the ball, and we're on the scoreboard yet again, giving us some separation. It's crunch time because the game is tied, and I'm not trying to take an L in my first game. First play is for me, and again, just really dogfighting my way for only 4 yards. Coach is making changes from the sideline on 3rd and 6. I catch the ball, but I'm immediately met by 2 defenders, and the ref somehow gives us the first. Play right after that, coach is calling my number, and I'm bouncing to the outside again, trying to run through folks, and I get stopped after picking up 8. Another play for me out the backfield, and I'm not hitting the correct hole, and we barely get the first again. Further down the field, coach is draining the clock, and I get the ball and shuffle for 7 yards, getting us closer to scoring. Next play, I'm thinking run, but coach wants a pass, so I'm out the backfield, finding some open space, falling forward for a tutty, and that was the game winner. Shout out to the defense for coming through when we needed it, and we started the season 1-0. I rushed for 123 yards on the ground, 33 in the air, and 3 total touchdowns. Next game was a disaster for me as far as rushing goes, although this play I rushed for a first and some, but I already had 3 touches before that, and I'm only at 18 yards for the game. I know in order to get that recruiting that I want, I would have to go harder. It was just tough for me to get going. It just felt like I couldn't because although I was super strong, as you see me throwing a guy off, I didn't have enough to get back running the way I wanted to. Luckily, this is an 11-man sport, and my guys were locking in as the QB throws a dime to my guy Deontay for a big touchdown in this game. 2nd and 10, we're backing down a score. I'm getting the ball, and just when I think I'm doing something, I get smacked from my blind side, and I need a minute to get up. I know this doesn't look good for me scouting wise, but it's 2nd down again, and screens are my best friend. Getting out of the backfield, I'm finding the right lane, getting us a 1st down. And that's my role on this team. I'm just a nickel and dime guy. I haven't had any big runs, and I want to be that guy as Titus comes down with an absolute dot from the QB for a score to tie this game up for now. Now, things went from worse to worser. I wasn't getting any yards. We weren't scoring, and this was the first reality check for us this season. I only had 56 yards on the ground, 64 in the air, and no touchdowns. Now, that performance last week was really getting to me. I'm still a one-star running back, and every game I felt like I was going backwards. Not to mention, I was taking abuse on that field. I would only have spurts of greatness, no moments. Even when I would break tackles, get first downs for the team, in that moment, I was lit, but the overall of my career, I felt like giving up. On 3rd and 8, 5-star wide receiver Deontay, my guy, comes down with the pass and scores on our opening drive, and I get it. I see why he has all the college's attention. Back out on the field, first down, coach is giving me the ball, and I'm looking to break away, but I get stopped before I could even get a first. On 3rd and 3, another 5-star wideout, my best friend Laurel, catches a dime and is off to the races, burning folks, and he scores a tutty. I'm really trying to be like that, and I know I'm running out of time, and it's killing me mentally. And it's not like I'm not getting the opportunities. My coaches really believe in me, but plays like this, when I lose yards, I know he's got to be losing trust in me. And to be fair, with all these 5-star receivers on the team, I'm lucky to be getting touches at all. I know I'm only getting these touches to keep the defense honest. But then again, I do have those spurts of greatness, like on this play from the 23-yard line. Coach calls a screen. I'm following my blocks to the T. Hit an unnecessary spin, finding some daylight, and I'm in the end zone. Thank goodness, because last week it was a donut in both categories, and I'm finally back. And the battle for the mascot game was a wrap, and I did a tad bit better. 41 yards in the air for one tutty and 71 yards on the ground. But I'm still not where I want to be personally. I was talking with the guys one day after school, just asking them how did they get those 5 stars, and I was not prepared for what they had to say.
Hey, one thing you gotta do is put up at least 100 a game.
Facts. And you gotta make sure you post your highlights online, even reach out to the coaches.
Most of all, you need to have at least 1,000 yards minimum by the end of the season.
Also, I would say work on your speed. Stop trying to run folks over and get around them. Your short legs can move faster.
You really need to lock in and keep it a beam with you. It's like you out there, but you not really out there. I expect more from a James family member, no cap.
You know, it's good to have friends like that. Luckily for me, I went to visit my pops and he told me the same thing. I really had to step it up if I wanted to do this for real. Pops also told me I had nothing to prove to nobody. If I was going to do this, I needed to do it for myself. Only person stopping me is me. So I got back out on that track, worked on my stamina, got back in the gym, worked on my strength, and game by game, I was starting to notice slight improvements. Still wasn't getting any stars, but I felt better about my game. This is what I'm talking about when I say improving. Coach is always going to give me the ball to start the game, and I'm coming through big 17 yards. This should be a good one. 3rd and inches from the 1-yard line, I'm getting into the end zone with one man meeting me in the hole, and I had my head high after that drive. I was locked in, but everything changed for me mentally. Next drive from the 6-yard line, O-line is opening a gap for me. I take advantage, even knocking one guy on his back before I'm taken down. Big game. 2nd and 9, coach is calling the screen, and again, I'm pushing a guy off me, picking up 7 yards on the play. Nothing too crazy. From the 6-yard line, my guy Deontay is going to get the quick pass for the tutty, and we're looking solid as a team. Now we right back at it. Little misdirection, good for a first down. 2nd and 10, coach calling my number, and look at the blocks from the dogs up front, which gives me space to get all the way to midfield. I really got to work on my speed training, but peep the 5-star homie going up and getting one. That's a head tap all the way down to the 1-yard line. And from the 1, I just fall in behind my guys, getting me the tutty for my stats, and I was just getting started. Right back at it, and I thought I had one on this play, but I somehow get tripped up before I could take off. 1st and 10 from the 40, and again, I love the screenplay as I'm following my blocks, finally getting pushed out of bounds at the 26-yard line, crossing midfield. 3rd and 5 from the 15. Coach running the screenplay back. I thank him for doing that, making sure I get into the end zone for another tutty, and we're dominating this game. And compared to previous weeks, this was something to build off of, racking in 134 yards on the ground and 66 in the air for 3 total tutties and another star on my recruiting board. The next game was against one of the worst in the country, so I knew I was going to be able to get some highlights from this one. Starting off from the 25, I'm following my blocks, beat one guy, and the rest is history. 75-yard tutty to start the game is nuts, and it only gets worse from there. Somehow we got the ball at the 1 yard line. We got to get out of trouble, and I go for 5 yards. But the play after that, I find the hole, punch one guy in the mouth, and the other guy just couldn't touch me, and that was a 95-yard rushing touchdown, as well as my second tutty of the day. I wouldn't get the ball again until the third, and on 2nd and 10, we're 20 yards out, and again, I'm making guys miss, throwing them off and walking into the end zone from there. That's the third one for the day, and that was game. Hey, shout out to that team for helping me get my third star, because I never thought I would get it, finishing with 234 yards on the ground and 3 tutties. Another game, another opportunity to be great, and I'm trying to go all in, starting the game off with a 17-yard run. Passing game was still OP, but I was starting to get some respect as a ball carrier. But on this screen play, the defense really let me know they was not out here to mess around with me. 1st and 10 from the 17, I had to let them know I'm in business as well. Coming off that left edge, punching Goofy in the mouth, spinning off the next guy and fighting for the 9 yards, I would get on the play. I would get the ball again on 2nd down, cutting back up the field. Thought I was about to score, but I get stopped at the 1 yard line. After that, we do a nice little toss play to get me into the end zone after all that hard work I put in on this drive to get us here, and I'm feeling good. 1st and 10, we're looking to score before half. Coach calls the screen play. The defense hit the blitz, which gives me plenty of room to make one guy miss, but I get tackled by the other player. But that's a big game. Play after that, I'm coming out of the backfield for a quick catch. Again, they just can't wrap me up. And that's a 1st down. Down at the 4 yard line, I'm getting the ball. I see one linebacker clogging my original hole, so I turn it up, and I'm in the end zone. We're starting to pull away in this game, and my highlights are starting to pile up. Back from halftime, starting off at the 17-yard line, I'm bouncing to the right hole, but I get met by the defense immediately for a gain of 6 yards. Pass and play from the 11-yard line, and somehow I'm the guy that's open, and I walk into the end zone, really showing the state that we might be that team to beat this year. And we smashed on these guys, bringing in 114 yards on the ground and 75 in the air for 3 total touchdowns. Now, although we were winning and I was doing everything I needed to be successful, I still wanted that 4th star. I wanted to be a blue chip running back and get some good offers. Don't get me wrong. Up to this point, I was getting some pretty good looks, but I really wanted some top 25, play on TV every Saturday offers. And as the season was coming to a close, I was running out of time. But it is playoff season, which meant it was either put up or shut up. I got to fight for this last star before the end of the season. Now, this playoff game would send us to the state championship, and the boys were locked, and I'm starting the game off going for 13 yards to get us going. This was the number 2 defense in the state, and if I could go off against them, that 4th star was mine. But early on, these guys were not going for it. On 2nd and 2, I'm bouncing to the right side, finding some space, and you can see how physical these guys are, knocking me out of bounds. Down here at the 2 yard line, coach is giving me the ball and I'm walking right in. This was a tough opening drive, and we have to come with that same intensity every drive if we want to win. Tie game, coming back in. The 3rd on 1st down, I'm getting a handoff, getting upfield for a 14-yard gain. 2nd and 9, I'm moving out of the backfield. QB dumps it down to me, and I'm getting 7 before the defense surrounds me. 3rd and 8, it's a screenplay where I fight off 2 guys, tackled by the 3rd, but not before I get the 1st down. And from the 28, we got some motion going. I'm getting the handoff, choosing the right gap, fighting for the 11 yards. I barely get, and my body is taking a beating. 3rd and 3 from the 10. Coach wants me to get this first by any means necessary. I'm pulling out the spin move, showing them my agility, getting us the 1st down. And we only got 3 out of that drive, and we're back out here trying to stay alive in the playoffs. 4th quarter with only 54 seconds left. Coach is going to lean on his 5-star wideouts to get us up the field quickly, and they're showing why they got them stars. From the 40, coach gives me a shot to get upfield on a screenplay, and instead of getting my yards and getting out of bounds, I keep the clock moving, not even picking up the 1st. I definitely need to work on my awareness, especially when I'm tired, but coach is giving me another chance. This time, I get what I can and get out quickly. Them 5-stars seem to always get open when it matters the most, which gets us down to the 3 yard line with about 20 seconds left in the game. Fast forward, it's 3rd and goal. We have no timeouts and we have to score here or it's all over. And what I tell y'all, them 5-stars are really them, bro. Right place, right time. That tutty is going to send us to state, and no hating, but I wish it was me in there. But nevertheless, we're all happy for my guy and the fact that we get to fight for a state championship. I'm walking off the field securing 110 yards on the ground and 66 yards in the air with 1 total tutty. And bro, it's crazy how the universe works, right? We just went against the number 2 team in the state, and you won't believe who the number 1 team is in the state that we're matched up against for the state championship.
I hate to say it, little cuz, but y'all about to get thrashed.
Don't say that, Dangy.
Nah, pick your head up, cuz that's what you wanted. You gotta go out there and fight for it.
I know.
Just remember what we worked on, cuz now is the time to really put it all together.
You right.
Yeah, I know. I just need to find my old jersey so I can pull up.
Hell nah, don't you got something better to do?
Besides coming out to support you in your time of need, after my alma mater stumps y'all out, there's no place I'd rather be.
And Dangy was right. His old high school was really like that. A team full of D1 5-star players that were all going to be NFL pros, it felt like. Usually I like running the screenplay, but these dudes were making me hate it, shutting that play down quickly. Even our passing game was getting shut down out the gate. I couldn't do nothing but stand there and watch as our team was being manhandled. But I had to come back to my senses because moments like these will pass you by if you get caught sleeping. 2nd and 7 from the 44, I'm getting the handoff and I'm not sure where bro came from, but I'm fighting him off for a 10-yard gain. And I'm telling y'all, these guys are making us work for every inch. 2nd and 5, we're trying the screenplay again. This time we get some great lead blocks, and I'm finally taken down after an 11-yard gain. From the 33, I'm starting to get aggressive, running through a goofy for a 7-yard pickup. 3rd and 3, I thought I had one, bouncing to the right side. I'm punching one in the mouth, which makes the other guy miss. Thought I had me one, but this defense's pursuit is on a whole nother level. 3rd and goal, coach is giving me another shot, and with the help of the O-line, I get pushed into the end zone, and we strike first in this defensive-heavy game. And that trend will continue until the end of the 3rd quarter. I'm still feeling strong, getting things started with an 8-yard gain. Play after that, the line is doing their thing, and I'm getting us past midfield to go into the 4th quarter where we had to tee up. And I'm not sure what happened to the defense, but they were not ready, and I was, which meant it was time for me to turn on the jets, and I'm out of there. 56-yard tutty to start the 4th. What a way to diminish this team's morale early. But that was wishful thinking because they scored right back. And with 3.5 minutes left, we need to do the same as I'm getting us the first. 4th and 1, we not trying to get a ball back. The passing game is starting to show up, getting us the first and some. Play after that, I'm getting a handoff, getting 10 yards on the play, and we call a timeout. Back from timeout, and this play hurt a little because as you can see, the lane is there. The defense is just faster than me, and I get stopped at the 2-yard line. But from the 2, coach is going to let me have this one, and I put my head down and score what would be the game-winning tutty. And I got my moment. What I always wanted, and that was to be the reason we won a game. And that game just so happened to be for a state championship. Listen, the state championship, I put up 189 rushing yards against the number 1 defense in the state, which would give me my last star, officially making me a blue chip. And those 4 stars brought in the college offers that I wanted for sure. Where I would go, I'm not sure. I need to set up a time to go visit my pops and talk to my mom about it before I officially made my choice. I'm too excited to start this next journey in my life that I don't even have a top 5 school, not even 10. If I could take them all, I would. But y'all give me some suggestions down below. Who needs a 4-star running back recruit? Maybe I'll go to your favorite team. Either way, I'll see y'all in the next one. Man, I appreciate all of you guys' help, and boy, did it help a lot because this is my first time ever doing something like this. I wasn't too sure how the process was going to go, but out of all these letters and coaches meetings with me, I only have one word to really describe the process, and those words are simple: empty promises. If you're new to the channel, my name is Bernard James, and I'm a 4-star running back recruit. And in the previous episode, I talked about my journey up to this moment, and it was commitment day. Now, if that wasn't stressful enough, I had to really take a look at my offers and really see what they meant. Being a 4-star recruit, I thought teams were going to be foaming at the mouth for a chance to have me on their teams, and boy was I wrong. Maybe it was just me, but my options were limited, and all of the coaches pretty much told me the same thing over and over again.
Bernard, we would love for you to come in and make a difference immediately. We're going to put you on a program to get your muscle index up, bring you in from time to time based on how you perform in practice. I love the type of player you are, and we would be proud to have you join our team.
You know, after you hear the same thing the third time around, you start to catch on and realize, yeah, they might want you on the team, but you're not really needed. So with that in mind, and after speaking with my mom and pops, it was best that I made the decision that I knew was going to benefit me and the school. And I know some of you aren't going to like this, but it made the most sense to commit to Iowa. And it was simple reasoning. Iowa wasn't strong at the position, and they just had their starter lead the school. And it just made the most sense for me to come in and try to take the spot from the guy next up. Now, even though this was a hectic time, I knew I wanted to beef up a little bit before heading out to Iowa. My 175 pounds was a little light, and I was looking to put on some weight quickly before checking in with the team. So I'm dirty bulking right now, and I've already gained 5 pounds. These burgers and fries gonna always hit. Quick flight out to Iowa. Moved in and is straight to the practice facility, and the coaching staff is making me comfortable. Learning the new scheme, really just adjusting to the environment around me. Hold on, y'all. Somebody texted me, my bad. Let me check this right quick. Goofy ass dude. I knew I should have put a fake number in the bowl when they asked to submit them. Anyway, first game of the season versus FCS Midwest, and I'm getting my first shot at carrying the ball in college, and boy, they knocked me off my feet. And bruh, welcome to college. God damn, I wouldn't get the ball again until late in the third, and this one hurt because I'm coming out the backfield, breaking a tackle immediately, finding my way out all the way to the end zone. And here I am thinking I scored, turned around, and there are yellow flags all in the backfield, and the call is holding. What I thought was my first score in college was called back. I get another chance in the fourth, 3rd and 11, breaking to the outside on the left. I got some space, but I'm taken down after a 7-yard gain. And that was pretty much it for me. We got the win as expected, and I only rushed for 7 yards. Now, this next game was against Iowa State for the CY Hawk game or something like that. I don't know, but I only touched the field once in the third quarter, catching a pass for 6 yards, and I was pulled off the field. We would take the L, and everyone was super quiet the rest of the night. They were super sad. I was just chilling though. I ain't see the big deal. Jumping into the next game against Troy, and coach wants to see what I got. I'm looking to make a play and stay on the field, and I break off for a crazy first down run. And I see those flags again, and all that was for nothing, bro. And on top of that, we took the L yet again. Like, I see the correlation. I don't get in the game, we lose. It's that simple. I guess coach could see and feel my frustration because this next game against Minnesota, I'm getting my first touch in the first quarter, and I opened it up for a huge 12-yard gain. But that love quickly faded because I wouldn't touch the field again until late in the third, and we're getting smutted on the road, 23-10. I find a hole on the left side and get about 12 yards before I get taken out of the game, and we end up losing another one by 22. And the whole job back to the locker room, I was in the coach's ear, letting him know he might need to switch things up a bit so we can get some dubs. Now, I guess that pissed coach off because that next game against number 2 Ohio State, I ain't touched the field at all, and they got absolutely destroyed by 28 points. Listen, if coach doesn't want me to play, then that's cool. I just have to show him that when I do play, he's missing something. Game against Washington, I would get this one shot for 5 yards and a broken tackle, and it's wraps from there. And another L for the team as well. Bruh, it is what it is at this point. Like, imagine the only time I get some players from the 1-yard line and coaches expecting me to make a miracle happen. All right, bet. I make these 12-yard rushes look dumb easy. And this team without me makes losing look easy as well. This time by 3 against Michigan State. And I guess coach was getting pressed from the boosters, or he was just tired of taking L's. Because one morning I woke up to a text talking about, we're going to need you to stay after practice this morning. It might be time for a change at starting halfback. We're going to see whether you deserve that spot. Yeah, all right. Needless to say, that spot was as good as mine. And I'm coming into this game against Northwestern with a 1-6 record. There was nowhere for me to go but up. Already seeing the effects of me being on the field, we make light work of this opening drive, scoring a touchdown in 3 plays. And we're on the boards first. From the 1-yard line, coach wanted me to make a miracle happen, and I'm bouncing to the left side of the field. A few guys chasing me. I throw one in the dirt and finally get forced out of bounds for a 25-yard gain. 3rd and 11, I'm feeling good coming out of the backfield, getting into the open space on the field, catching a steamer, getting a first and a bit more. Coach took me out because I guess I looked tired, but I'm back in, fighting for an 8-yard gain. Play right after that, I'm getting the ball again. This time attacking the right side of the field. I'm looking unstoppable before I'm taken out at the 43-yard line. But the fatigue is setting in from that dirty bulk before I got here, and I'm seeing the bench more than I would like to. But on 3rd and 2, the gates are open for me as I get the first and a bunch more. Play right after that, coach said run it again, but harder. This time we moving to the left side. And bruh, I'm trying to get up out of there. I just can't do it. I swear I'm moving as fast as I can, and I'm back out of the game. And this was becoming a bad pattern for me because on 3rd and 11, I bounced to the outside, finding some room, running through a guy, getting the first, and I'm back on the sideline. Then again, late in the 4th, coach wants me to score from the 15-yard line. This O-line is putting in that work today as I walk in untouched for my first score of my career. I look for the flags, and we're all clear. Go ahead and crown me, my guy. And just like that, we win my first game as a starter in Iowa, and you know I gave coach that look like I told you so, and I had a big day rushing for 135 yards and 1 touchdown. So after my first start, I got a little offer from a local tire spot. They wanted me to do a commercial, and I agreed to do it. In exchange, they offered the entire team new tires, so you know the squad was loving me for not only getting them a win, but some new wheels as well. Anyway, next game against number 14, Wisconsin, and a win here would be dope. On 2nd and 12, I'm coming up clutch, getting us a first down. 3rd and 7, getting motion out of the backfield, I'm coming up clutch again, picking up more than enough on the pitch and catch for the first. We would score off of that drive, but I was on the bench taking a breather. But I'm back from the 42, finding the gap, making a play and getting us a first. I was on the bench when we scored on that drive as well, but here we go again. Coach wants a big play on first down, and I'm taking off down the sideline for 18 yards. And here we go. I'm getting pulled back off the field, and we get 3 from that drive. It's 20-7, and defense is doing an amazing job, and I'm still working, hitting that right side with some aggression, weaving in and out for a 25-yard gain. Late in the 3rd, about 1:33 left. Left side is wide open, and I take off for the first down marker, getting the first after getting smacked. 3rd and 6 in the 4th. What an amazing scheme from coach, getting me room to scoop for 14 yards, and I'm back on the sideline. Look, I might need some oxygen, bro, no cap. And although I'm tired and in need of a breathing treatment, we just beat the number 14 team in the country 27-45, and the Bernard effect was well and in place. It was undeniable. I had 116 yards on the ground, no tutties. Big game back at home in Cali against UCLA, a team that wanted nothing to do with me, and I wanted this win badly, getting started with a 7-yard gain. Further down the field, I'm getting 7 more to make 2nd down easier. We don't get anything on that drive, but the defense gets a stop, and we're right back at it, coming out the backfield, picking up 9 the hard way. Play right after that, I'm making it look way too easy, scooting for 15 yards on the play. I'm coming right back on the first down, moving to the right side of the field, making a guy miss, picking up another first down, and we marching now. We would score on that drive, and another time on defense. I wouldn't make an impact on this game until the 3rd quarter, where I sneak out of the backfield, picking up a tough first down. Then from the 47, the left side of the field is so open, I'm trying to run through Buddy, and I end up getting tackled out of bounds after the big gain. We would go on to score again and again, winning 24-6. It felt good beating up on a team that passed on me, gave them boys 118 of my best yards that night. Now, speaking of my best yards, this game against Maryland put a lot of college football teams on notice. But on the very first play of the game, I would get gang tackled in the backfield, and I would tweak my right ankle, and I wouldn't see the field again until the 3rd quarter when I was cleared to play. And bruh, I was on that sideline itching. 2nd and 5, I'm going to act like my ankle isn't messed up, and I'm hobbling down the sideline as fast as I can for one of my longest rushing attempts to date. That's 39 yards. Off the injury, I'm showing heart. And even with this Maryland stadium rocking right now, I'm coming out the backfield, hitting the defense with a shifty move, bouncing back outside. My ankle is no problem, bro. They gave me a horse shot in the tent, and I'm in the end zone. Tutty. Now, this game was already won, but I needed to put my touch on it. From the 23, sneaking out the backfield, I'm coming down with the ball, getting us the first, but I'm down at the 2-yard line. Coach letting me cook, and from the 2, I walk into the end zone, 2nd tutty of the game, and go ahead and crown me. And I know from the score, I'm beating a dead horse, but I got against me. From the 40, somehow I hit the hole, it collapses. I slide to the left, break a tackle, and I'm off to the races, but my ankle can't take it. And although I think I scored, refs called me down at the 1-yard line. Coach knows my ankle is bothering me, but like a G, he lets me finish off that incredible drive, scoring my third tutty of the game, and it doesn't stop there. A minute and 20 left, I'm getting the ball, making a guy miss, first down. 2nd and 2, hitting the outside, making a guy miss, another first down, and some. Play right after that, I'm cutting back inside for another first, getting stopped at the 3. This marks 628 rushing yards in the short time that I've been a starter, making my mark on this team. And I had to top it all off with a tutty. My 4th of the game after missing the entire first half. Yeah, let me get my crown, my guy. Smash Maryland for 225 yards on the ground and 4 tutties. And the winning streak continues with me as the starter. Crazy week for me, and it gets crazier as I receive Big Ten Player of the Week award for my crazy performance against Maryland on that bum ankle. And I wanted to make sure this wouldn't be the last time I received that. But it's the last game of the season against Nebraska to go even on the season. And I'm starting with a strong 20-yard rush to get us past midfield. Right after that, the call was for the outside run, but I'm turning it back upfield, getting about 13 yards on the play. Fast forward and we're on the 3-yard line. Coach gives me the nod to score, and I do just that, put in the first points on the board. And I sat out the majority of the game due to the high chance of re-injuring my ankle, but not before I rushed for 193 yards and 1 touchdown. And that was the end of the regular season. I will be named Freshman All-Big Ten as well as Freshman All-American after only starting 5 games this season. That, I must add, got us back to an even record. I will also had to thank me because somehow that record got us invited to the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl against number 15 Oklahoma. Now, I had rested up for this game, did some rehab on my ankle, and I was cleared and ready to go. We win this game, that would be huge for this school. Getting into the game, Oklahoma already has 3, and I'm starting off getting a tough 4 yards. Coach is leaning on me, so on 2nd down, I'm fighting for the 6, but I get marked short of the first. First down, I'm coming out of the backfield, and right before the QB gets smacked, he floats one to me, and I'm taking off down the field, turning a sack into a 17-yard gain. We get 3 points from that drive, but from the 13-yard line, I'm getting the call again. This time I find a hole, getting us down to the 1. From the 1, I walk this one in. Give me that crown, and shout out to the defense for getting us that field position so early in the game. We had to score here. Back out on the field late in the second, we're down 7, and we need to score before half. I'm getting us started with an 8-yard reception. 2nd and 2 out the backfield again. This time I'm making a few guys miss before I get popped. Big game. Move them chains though. But then the last thing we needed happened. QB tries to throw a quick one, but it's intercepted. Not only that, but it's taken all the way back for 6, and now we're down big going into the locker room. Back from half at the 30, I'm locked in, trying to keep us in this fight. Trying to make a guy miss, but I get tackled at midfield. Play right after that, I get a chance at making a guy miss again, and this time I had old boy lost in space, even stiff arming another one on my way out of bounds, and they can tell I want this one. But on 2nd and 4, QB waits for the slant to get open. Perfect pitch and catch to get us on the board, cutting into this lead. Back out on 3rd and 12, we need this one. I'm out the backfield on the angle. Somehow I'm open, getting us the first down, and I get taken down at the 50. Next play, handoff, and I'm moving left, throwing a guy into the ground, but I'm quickly tackled right after. 2nd and inches, I could tell defense is thinking run, which is perfect because coach called a play action, and we're back on the scoreboard, bro. What a game. It's crunch time, and I'm breathing heavily in the backfield, but I know I need to get this first. I find the hole, thankfully, and get the first down, keeping this drive alive for now. A field goal would win it, but coach ain't really trying to go for it. He calls a crazy reverse in such a close game. Luckily, we have a playmaker on this team, make it 3rd and 1. Unfortunately, the line couldn't hold up, and on 3rd down, I get stopped for a loss. We take that field goal, defense gets a stop, and we're Music City Bowl winners this season, and what a season it was. I wrapped it all up going for 155 yards in my first ever bowl game. And I hate that the season came to an end. It seemed like it just started for real. But that's okay, because I've been talking to the coaching staff, and they're promising me that I'm their number 1 next season. But you remember at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned empty promises, right? Yeah. I'll just see y'all in the next episode. Sophomore season, and listen, I got a taste of college football, and I want more of it. Y'all saw how I was about to get going my freshman year there. Well, from training this offseason and getting in some work with Danji, College football was about to be in a world of problems. But let's get into the season. I got a lot to update y'all on. Now, Dangy had been getting on me about my route running, and we locked in this summer, and I've gotten a lot better at running my routes and catching. Trying to put that on display right now, gaining 16 yards on the opening drive. Coach saw my improvement when I came back for camp, and I'm being implemented into a lot of those plays, catching another one for 18 yards. 3rd and 5 from the 6. I'm not sure why Iowa State is leaving me open, but it's an easy catch this close to the end zone for a score. We open up for the first touchdown of the game and my first touchdown this season. Even though we're down a score, coach wanted to unleash me on the ground, and I'm more than happy to follow with my blocks, picking up that first. Passing game gets us down to the 1 yard line, and on 2nd and goal, you know I'm walking it in, scoring another one. This time on the ground. This is just the beginning, but we tie the game up. Defense gets a stop for us, and we back in the air with it. I'm catching the ball and making sure we keep them chains moving. 3rd and 12, we need this first down to get some separation. I run the same route this time, making a few guys miss, and we're threatening to score. 5 wide, I deviate from my route. QB throws a quick one, and I'm in the end zone yet again, and Iowa State is starting to understand I was a much different than I was last year. But if they were still doubting my talent, this play on 1st and 10 really drove it home as I attack the left edge, make 2 guys miss, and the rest is a walk in the park. 53-yard tutty, and they can't believe I broke one off like that. We give up a safety, and State starting to think it's sweet again. This time I'm coming off that right edge, spinning off one guy, hand in the chest on the other one, a second one, and they can't touch me, showing off the rest of the way. Big 63-yard run to really let Iowa State know I'm not here to play no games, and I'm on a Heisman hunt. My first game as the beast I know I really am, beating Iowa State by 20. Not only that, but I ran for 276 yards for 6 total touchdowns. That first game performance got me Player of the Week from the Big Ten, as well as nationally. And some NIL deals started to come through, like this one for a gym where all I had to do was take photos of me in the gym working out with a trainer, and that was money in the bank. I think I'm going to like this NIL stuff. But let's get back to the season, and I'm not going to bore you guys with blowouts. We're ranked 14th in the nation, and Florida Atlantic was no issue, stumping them out 51-35. I had a calm 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. But this next game against number 6 Penn State, I couldn't get into the end zone. They had game plan for me, but the passing game was still on point. One notable thing that happened in this game was me surpassing 600 rushing yards, and it was a little crazy considering we were only 3 games into the season. But we would defeat Penn State 25-3, and we had college football wondering if we could keep this win streak going and what team would be the ones to stop us. This game, though, I rushed for 175 yards and had 7 receptions for 45 yards. Penn State thought they had us, and we took their spot. Going up against number 3 Oregon, and we were on the same timing, 5 wide. And I'm going for their neck, speeding past the defense, and I'm running with all my might. One guy tries it and falls short, and I dive into the end zone, 93-yard touchdown, and Oregon is looking lost. No chance I'm slowing down. I need to get on this Heisman list from the 21-yard line. I see the lane so clearly, and I attacked it easy. Rushing touchdown, and Oregon knows it's over, and it's not even halftime yet. Defense got some new recruits, and they're showing off. I'm coming out of the backfield, catching one for about 15 yards. 2nd and 1 from the 7. I check for the blitz, then sneak out of the backfield, right into the end zone, another one. And you know I need my crown, my guy. It gets worse for Oregon on 3rd and 3. We're up 18. I'm getting the ball, hitting the right side, coming around, going downhill. One guy bounces off me, but the other one takes my legs down by midfield. Then from the 31, I'm running a streak. Defense doesn't know who to guard, and the QB lofts a perfect ball, and I'm back in there. We're looking completely unstoppable in this moment, and I know the other teams are worried. We walk out of here with a 25-point victory, and the team is on another level. We're locked in. It was going to take a tough team to beat us, but I went off for 198 yards on the ground with 4 total tutties. We are the number 2 team in the nation, and Michigan State at 1-4 was no issue for us. 45-24, we made light work of them, but my legs were not working this game. Only rushing for 105 yards, 65 in the air with 2 tutties. And this is where fatigue starts to set in for the team, consistently playing at a high level, but I'm bringing the energy today, getting started with a huge run. This marks 1,000 plus rushing yards for the season. Then on 3rd and 6, the play action works to perfection, getting us down to the 8-yard line. From there, coach calling my number again, and I'm carrying me and the defense into the end zone. This is definitely going to get the offense going, and the crowd is buzzing here at home. Bro, I love this shit. Defense gives up a score, and we've been getting the ball up the field easily, but 15 yards out, I'm getting a touch, hitting that left outside lane, and I'm diving into the end zone before I get touched. And bro, the energy in this stadium is through the roof as I score again. Fast forward to the bottom of the third, and the score is somehow tied. Defense hasn't been showing up, but I'm still here. From the 46-yard line, I got one guy still looking for me at the 30, and that's a 54-yard touchdown, letting Minnesota know what they really got themselves into, even though our defense left their game in the locker room. Bottom of the fourth, and it's only a 3-point game, and I'm here to make sure it doesn't end that way. Big guys up front are holding their blocks. I run into a defender and shake him off, regain my footing, and I'm out of there. They can't catch me, and they gotta know by now to give it up. While they give up a 65-yard touchdown to me, I'm making this defensive coordinator look like an idiot. Victory formation is how we end this one, winning by 10, and I give Minnesota's defense 270 yards and 4 touchdowns to take back to the crib. But the fatigue wouldn't stop there. Facing off against Wisconsin, and these guys shouldn't even be close to us, let alone tied in this game. Their defense coordinator came to hoop though, not really letting us break a big drive off. We're literally nickeling and diming our way up the field every drive, and they were finding ways to keep me out of it. But I kept finding ways to get open, even if we were taking small steps down the field. I was focused on keeping the chains moving so we could score. From the 37-yard line, I'm finally breaking one for 10 yards, and this gives me the boost I need. From the 27, it seems as if the defense forgot all about me as I virtually walk into the end zone, breaking this game from its 20-20 score. And that was all it took. We finished the game in victory formation, and I finished with 134 yards rushing and 1 touchdown in the air. Good news for the guys and me. We had a bye week before we came back out here to Cali for a game against USC. And now I have to talk about the news that was about to change everything. I got some time away from the team, from coach, so I could go and visit my dad's lawyer to discuss his option. Let me explain the situation in legal terms. Long story short, Pops and some neighborhood friends got into a fight with another group of neighborhood friends that they didn't agree with. And my dad ended up doing one of the guys real bad. I mean, he's in the ICU and they're waiting to see if he passes away bad, which means that an assault charge could turn into a murder charge. And Pops is going down this time. They want to put my mans to sleep, and the family wasn't going for it. We're here now trying to fight this case because Pops is yelling self-defense, but because of the charges that he is in for, the judge wasn't going for it. As much as I wanted to stay and help fight this case with my Pops, I had to trust the word of the lawyer. Man, this was stressing my mama out, bro. And I hated leaving her alone to deal with all of this. But we got to get back to the rest of the season. I'll let y'all know more when I get more info. This USC game, though, was going to be a breeze. We're ranked number 2 in the country, not really looking to lose our momentum. I'm getting a nice 7-yard gain on second down. And for whatever reason, it's always the lower ranked team that's looking to prove something. And with a 3-point lead, USC was definitely feeling themselves. But to keep it a bean with y'all, the defense was doing their job, keeping me in check. And I wasn't really breaking off any long runs up to this point. On 3rd and 1, I get that little boost that I tend to get, breaking one off up the middle of the field for 13 yards, inching closer to getting our first points on the board. And the play right after that, I got my moment. As the team holds the edge, I'm turning on the speed boost, hurrying to the edge of the end zone, finally putting up our first points late in the first quarter, and now it's time to try and take over this game. Back out on the field early in the second quarter, I'm coming out of the backfield, headed left. My defender can't keep up, and I turn this simple dump down into a 22-yard gain. From the 42-yard line is when I really put on my best Heisman candidate run, hitting the hole quick, making 2 guys miss, punching one in the mouth. The other one just can't get me, and I'm in the end zone. That was a big run that hopefully got the crowd going, and most importantly got my teammates going, because I'm the hometown kid and the crowd was rooting for me too. Unfortunately, the crowd was a little too loud and the defense couldn't get going. It's 17-13, 2nd and 8, I'm coming up with a quick 4-yard gain. 3rd and 14 from the 36. We low-key need a miracle to make sure we stay in the lead in this game. I'm running my route trying to get open. I heard the crowd gasp, and I look up, and my guy Ruben is sliding down the field and gets tackled at the 1-yard line. And you know, all I had to do was walk in behind the big dogs for the touchdown right after that. And the unfortunate would take place as we walked off the field. The first string offense would get subbed out, and the defense would stink it up. And somehow, some way, here we are in overtime where we shouldn't be, and I'm pissed. From the 12-yard line, I'm demanding the ball the rest of the way. I'm making the smart reads, making guys miss, getting tackled at the 5. You know I want it right back, though. And the O-line can see it in my eyes as they part this sea of defenders, and I'm putting the ball in USC's court to see if they can match us, and they can't. Defense shuts them down completely, and the hometown kid is walking off the field with a win. 249 rushing yards, 4 total touchdowns, and that was a hell of a game. It felt good being home for a little bit, even though it was a bittersweet moment. For whatever reason, we dropped from second ranked to fourth, and it's probably because USC non-ranked ass took us to OT. But we got to keep pushing. On 2nd and 3, the line is really fighting for me as the left side opens wide and I push through, having to be taken down by multiple defenders. I've really been getting stronger and stronger as the time passes while I'm here in Iowa, and I find myself running through and around defenders consistently. 3rd and inches, and we just need an inch to get closer to taking this lead back. Running behind my blocks, and I get smacked from my blind side, and bro really think he was doing something. So from the 13, I'm running as hard as I can, coming off that right edge, running downhill, wishing someone would step in front of me, diving into the end zone, and we're up in this game late in the 2nd quarter. Back out on the field, and for some reason, defense can't hold water today, and we got to get points up on the board, getting us started with a 9-yard gain. 2nd and 19, I'm not looking to get at all back at once, but I will take a big chunk of it. Left side has a lot of green, picking up 12. Play right after that, I'm looking to go again, but coach wants to pass. I'm open for a quick second. QB zips one to me, and I'm taken down immediately, but not before I move the change. 2nd and 4, from the 15, the gap opens up, and I take it, punching one guy in the face before I'm taken down at the 6. But the play right after that, the defense wouldn't be so lucky as I bounce to the outside right, cut it back upfield, and sneak into the end zone for my 2nd rushing touchdown. But we're down 4, and we need to score. On 4th and 7, I come up with a drive-saving catch to get them chains moving. From the 22, I get a glimpse of the end zone, and I beeline tunnel vision, carrying like 2 guys on my back before I fall at the 4-yard line. Boy, I thought I had that one. 2nd and goal, though. From the 1, you know it's just that easy to walk right into the end zone, giving us the lead for the moment. Defense really held us down, and the offense worked its way down to the field to the 3-yard line, where I marched into the end zone, making this a 10-point game, and Rutgers had to concede. I'm walking out with 269 rushing yards and 4 total touchdowns on the night. But it's bowl season time, everyone's favorite time of the year, where your entire season could be all thrown away if you have one bad game. Although this was only my 2nd season here, I was a starter, and I wasn't ready for the season to be over because honestly, I had a lot to deal with during the off season back home, and I wasn't prepared mentally for all that yet. Now we have Nebraska for the Big Ten championship game, and they were the only team to beat us in the regular season, and I was here for my get back. The score is already 19-3 though, late in the 2nd, and we're not looking to slow down. From the 9-yard line, I'm going to get my first opportunity to score, and I'm not leaving anything on the table, outrunning my defenders, getting into the end zone. Go ahead and put that crown on my head. I need that. The team was dominating while coach kind of put me in the reserves this game, but when I would get my chances, I took advantage of them, thinking I was going to score here, but I get stopped short at the 1-yard line. On the halfback toss, you know I just walked my way right on in for a tutty, pushing our lead even further, and the guys were in good spirits because we definitely got our get back from the one loss we took this season, and it was made even better due to it being for the Big Ten championship. I had a measly 214 rushing yards for 2 total touchdowns, and folks were really starting to see I'm in business when it came to these games. And you know the guys were ready to party on that plane tonight, as we couldn't do nothing but dance around that trophy during the ceremony. And the party kept going as the phone started ringing, and I was getting invites to get my award. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. Had to grab the 2025 Player of the Year award as well, which meant your boy won the Heisman Award. I mean, who else was going to win it? I rushed for almost 2,700 yards and almost 30 tutties. I brought in the Best Running Back of the Year award. I was also named First Team All Big Ten and First Team All American. Only thing that was missing was my pops. And although he was never truly there physically for any of my accomplishments, he was always just a drive away. I miss my pops, bro. First round of the playoffs is against Kansas State, Rose Bowl game. We're up 7-3. Offense has been putting in that work, and I'm getting a good go at it from the 6. Thought I was going to run these 2 over. They pushed me back from getting into the end zone down at the 1. And of course, my O-line got me. They pushing the D-line into the end zone, and that's my first tutty in this championship run, and the gang is happy for me. They know it's been a long time coming, and I won the Heisman. With everything I've been dealing with mentally, this was much needed, and I had been struggling with the thought of losing my pops while I was here, and it was messing with the way I was was playing the game. I wasn't really getting off the ball like I wanted to, but my guys were encouraging me constantly in the huddle. And on 2nd and 7 from the 9-yard line, they make a hole that was too big not to go through. And I score another tutty, and I can't lie, under that helmet, I was emotional. Good thing I had the dark visor on, no one could really tell. But this last little push was for my pops, man, just in case you don't get to see me play again. The score is 42-17, and although this game was pretty much over, I was still running for my life, picking up 9 yards on the first down. Then from the 7, I get caught from behind, almost scoring another tutty, but of course, coach would give me another opportunity from the 1, and I'm back in for another one, and we win the Rose Bowl. Moving on to the next round, but in this one, I had 204 rushing yards and 3 total touchdowns. Another trophy and another moment with my guys huddled around that trophy this season. It just meant everything to me. Now, unfortunately for national television, we will be matched up against Nebraska for the 2nd round of the playoffs. And I know ratings were low because we've beat them before for the Big Ten championship. I didn't do so hot, no lie. Only rushed for 154 yards and 4 total touchdowns that I would get once the offense took us down to the 1 or 2 yard line. Either way, a win is a win. Smacking these guys 51-16. And all that meant was we had an easy ticket to the championship game. And I needed to get my mind right because, like I said before, all it takes is one bad game and it's over. And I wasn't sure if my pops was going to be here for another season, so I had to lock in. Championship game, and both teams realistically shouldn't be here. Purdue was the last team you think you see here, and Iowa, the way this team has struggled in the past, you wouldn't think it was possible. Yet and still, here we are, and somebody was going to be leaving without that trophy. And I wasn't trying to be that person. No lie, the team had me on their back the entire first quarter, but I'm here now, running the way I should, fighting for a tough 8 yards. From the 38-yard line, I'm bouncing to the right side, cruising, one guy missing, then I get smacked, 11-yard gain though. Play after that, I'm pushing it for another 10 yards, and I can tell the defense is getting frustrated. No worries though, because from the 13, I would finally let them off the field, get into the outside where the team sealed them boys in, and it's a walk into the end zone for my first tutty this game. Defense would not only get a stop, but they would score the ball. And with the 2-minute warning stopping the clock, coach handed me the ball, and I happened to break off a 20-yard run to get the clock moving again. I give coach a look like, let me get this one. So with 45 seconds left in the game, I score what would be my last touchdown in an Iowa jersey and the final score to win us the national championship game. Who would have thought that the way we came into the season would turn out like this? Not only did we win, we dominated Purdue. And to be fair, we dominated this entire season. I rushed for 227 yards and 2 total touchdowns, and I had to dedicate this season to my pops. Sitting up there holding that trophy with the guys was the greatest feeling in the world. But as great of a feeling as it was back to reality real quick. It was time to try and fight for my pop's life while everyone else got to celebrate and talk about the next season. But you know what? I was built for this. I just didn't know what was coming next. So there's a lot that has happened since the last time I spoke with you guys, and I wish I could say it was all good. Since the last time we spoke, it wasn't looking good for my dad, and they were looking to throw the book at him. Since then, I moved back home, not knowing if I was going back to Iowa or if I was going back to play football. I was in a depressive state for sure, but I know my pops wouldn't want me sitting around doing nothing. The transfer portal was opening at the same time as my dad's first hearing, and I needed to make a decision on what I was going to do.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise. I hope you scheduling this meeting means what I think it means.
I'm not going to beat around the bush, coach. I got a lot going on here at home, and I think it's best for me to transfer closer to my mom.
I've heard the unfortunate news, and I won't beat around the bush either. While we would love to have you here, because we know you can turn this program around, I can't promise you much, Bernard.
I'm not looking for any handouts. I know I have to earn my place.
While I admire your willingness to work hard, I need to explain better what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
You're super strong, not the fastest, but defenses can't take you down. Again, while we would love to have you, there are some things you're going to have to accept while you're here. There's a really high chance you won't win the Heisman here. The offensive coordinator has built this offense around the passing game, and it's been working for us. I don't want you to think just because you transfer here, all of that is going to change right away. But I will say this, if you do transfer here, we are willing to make the necessary changes to make sure you get your touches and win games.
That's all I could ask for, Coach.
If you're okay with that, we will get the documents ready for you. Welcome to UCLA, Bernard.
Thank you, Coach. I'm happy to be here. And that was a lot. I wasn't happy hearing I wasn't going to have a chance at Heisman because I know what I can do on the field, but this wasn't about me. I needed to be close to my mom and my pops, and that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make. But enough of this. I'm running late for my dad's character witness hearing, and he needs all the words he can get today.
Today was very insightful. It was a pleasure hearing from everyone, the NBA players, the NFL players, governors and mayors from Utah, the James family, and most of all, from Bernard James. While the court was pleased to hear from all of the upstanding individuals, it is still my recommendation that LeBrick James undergo the death penalty. Court is adjourned.
My heart is broken. I don't know what else to say. From that point on, I didn't know what else to do, but my pops had his head up. He requested that my mom and I visit as frequently as possible. I'm glad I made the decision to stay close to home because every chance I had, I was talking to my pops because I know we both needed it. He was giving me a lot of game during this time that we had because we didn't know when his time was coming. We just knew it was going to happen. He was telling me how happy he was that I was successful wearing his number, and he kept apologizing to me that he was in the position that he was in. He told me to keep my head up and make sure I make the most of this season and that I couldn't worry about the things I couldn't control. But enough of this, because I'm getting emotional. Debut season at UCLA, and man, walking out of that tunnel gave me chills. Hometown kid is back, playing for my cousin's alma mater, and they were expecting big things from me, especially considering I just won the Heisman last season. Jumping into the second quarter and we're down 14 already, and you can see why. This San Diego State team was really prepared for me, and the O-line here was not as good as my Iowa guys were. 3rd and 5, I'm being put into the position of a passer, and instead of the defense coming to tackle me, they back off and I throw up a prayer. Luckily, the receiver comes back for the ball and we pick up some major yards in the air. Yeah, I'm not liking this offensive scheme already, bruh. But we're down at the 12-yard line. I'm motioning around the QB for a quick dump down, only gaining a few yards on the play. Play after that, coach calls the screen play 7 yards out. Line gets their blocks, and I'm into the end zone for my first score as a Bruin and our first points on the scoreboard. Back out on the field, defense holds us down. I'm starting the drive with a tough 6-yard gain. Getting the ball again on first down, break a tackle at the line, make a few guys miss before I'm taken down for the first. 3rd and 13, I sneak out of the backfield, picking up big yards to keep the drive going, trying to tie this game up. From the 28-yard line, I'm out of the backfield, putting my agility to use, then running through the next guy, barely moving the chains. The passing game gets us down to the 1-yard line, where I fight my way forward to tie this game up, and San Diego is looking a little shaky. Speaking of looking a little shaky, neither offenses could score, and the game is still tied. 3rd and 11 from the 3-yard line, I know it's time for me to take over this game. After picking up that first down, I'm locked in. Coach giving me the ball. I'm breaking to the outside, down the sideline before I get caught by 3 players. I got the crowd rocking after that one. It's 3rd and 10. We need to get past midfield at the least to try for a field goal. But again, I'm creeping out of the backfield wide open, and I just fall on the ball. I'm not trying to get blindsided. But on 2nd down, I run the same route, and this time I get smacked for not falling on the ball, and I'm hurting. Coach gives me a down off, but I'm back running the ball to the left outside, and again, I get smacked by like 2 players. It's starting to piss me off. I get the ball again, running to the same side. This time I hit them with a crazy spin, getting upfield. I get ran over again. From the 8-yard line, I'm running to the left yet again. This time I avoid the tackle and spin my way into the end zone, leaving only 54 seconds on the clock. But defense was not locked in, and we go to overtime. Luckily, the guys on offense wanted it just as bad as me, and I marched in from the 3-yard line, putting us up. And shout out to the defense, shutting down State when they tried to go for 2, and we barely win this season opener by 1 point. 170 rushing yards, 88 yards in the air with 4 total touchdowns is how I end this one. And the NIL deals were still coming in. I guess they followed me back home. Sporting goods store wants me to be an ambassador for their fitness bikes. I needed the bread, so why not? Moving ahead in the season, we're ranked 16th in the country, and we got number 5 Michigan at Michigan, which makes this game even harder than it needs to be, but we know what we're walking into, and we're prepared. Michigan put up 3, and it's our turn. Coach is letting me start the drive with a draw, and Michigan is all over it, only picking up 1 yard. Play action designed for me to keep the ball. I'm finding some space in the defense before I'm quickly tackled, picking up 7. We need to keep this drive going, and coach is trusting me to do it. Making one guy miss who thought he was going to stop me in the backfield, and I turned this run from a loss into a 13-yard gain. From the 14, coach is starting to lean on me again, and I'm making sure he can keep his trust in me as I bounce to the outside, stop just short of the first down marker. Then on 2nd and goal, I sneak out of the backfield again. Linebackers paying me no mind as I fall down with the ball in the end zone, putting up the first touchdown of the game for both sides. Trying our best to shut this crowd up early. Coming back late in the first half from the 20-yard line, QB finds a quick dump down for 3 yards. We're going back in the air on 2nd down, and somehow the QB connects with a wide out on the left side of the field, and he makes a great sideline catch at the 3. And you know I step right in for the handoff, carrying one guy with me all the way to the end zone, putting us up by 10, hopefully by 11 with the extra point. And this game was actually a lot closer than it probably should have been for Michigan, but we somehow come up with a win at Michigan. And I think this game was the push coach needed to finally work me into the game plan. More on the ground, finishing with 96 yards rushing, 116 in the air, and 2 total touchdowns. But unfortunately, we get deeper into the season, and I'm getting more touches, but the scheme hasn't completely been worked out, and the team hasn't bought into it. Rivalry game against USC, we're the number 1 team in the country, and I'm scrambling for yards due to broken blocks from the line. But when the QB needs protection, the O-line knows exactly what to do, and they're holding him down. I'm starting to feel some type of way. I can't hold you, because how is it that y'all can hold the line for the QB to make a pass, but you can't hold the blocks for longer than 2 seconds for me to get downfield? It is what it is, though. I got to remember why I'm here and get over myself. This was a sad-ass performance for both teams. As we barely walk out of here with a win, I rushed for only 84 yards and 70 in the air. And coach would go on to make the changes for the remainder of the season, and we finally worked out all the kinks in the run game. And we really got the O-line bought into the idea of the success we could have if they really sold out. I was definitely frustrated at first, but talking to my dad helped out a lot, and he gave me some really good advice when he told me that instead of trying to run around these players, I need to run through them. I got all this strength and I'm barely using it on the field. That stuck with me, and that advice was clutch, especially going into bowl season. We got the Big Ten championship up first against number 3 Washington, and we're still number 1. And this arena was sold out and loud as hell. First play of the game, and it's looking like the O-line isn't as confident as they were towards the end of the season. And I go down after only gaining 1 yard. But I'm in the huddle letting them know now is not the time to regress. And we come back out on the ground, inches short of the first. Coach is letting me get this first, and I know if we get it, it will be a big boost to my O-line's confidence. And I get it and a little more. And that was perfect because now we run the RPO, which has the defense lost, and we get the ball all the way down to the 13-yard line, and the team is looking good. Keeping the pass game going, I find my way to the 3rd level where I catch the ball, and I'm immediately taken down at the 4, and the threat to score has heightened. And you know I'm good for 4 yards as the guys up front make a way for me to fight my way in, and this is what we needed. Get on the boards first and let the rest of the game play out. Defense is locked in, and we get the ball back at the 7-yard line. Relying on the pass game, I run an angle route, outrunning my defender, getting upfield, putting my head down like my pop said for a 23-yard gain. Keeping the air raid going from the 32, play action to the pass that should have been picked off. I'm finally taken down close to midfield, and I'm teed up because we're feeling unstoppable. Defense is looking for the pass, but coach is going to run. We got them guessing as the left side of the field is completely empty. I make one guy miss, getting us into the red zone. When I tell y'all I love the way the coaching staff has finally built this offense around me, you can see why. Nice 10-yard gain on that play. Now it's back to the ground, moving to the right side of the field. They try to take me down, but I'm too strong, fighting my way to the 2-yard line where I get the ball again on 2nd down and barely get into the end zone. And I could tell Washington is not happy. Coming back from halftime, Washington has put up some points, making this a game. We need some separation. Defense gets the ball on the 23-yard line, and it's one play through the air, carrying 2 defenders with me into the end zone. Another touchdown for your boy. And you know what? Go ahead and crown me, my guy. Washington won't go away, and late in the 4th, we need another touchdown to solidify this win. 2nd and 6 from midfield, the perfect play is called. The wideouts are holding their blocks, and I'm off to the races, finally being taken down at the 1-yard line. Coach takes me out of the game. 2nd string running back scores it, and we're Big Ten champions. I rushed for 165 yards, 66 through the air with 4 total tutties. Now the real challenge begins. First round of the playoffs against NC State, and we're down 3 at midfield. The run game has been slow to get going, but coach still believes, which makes the passing game all the more easier as I come up with a big game to get us going. Coach's belief in the run game is what gets us opportunities like this. Getting to the right side edge, rolling through one guy, then another, finally falling down at the 2-yard line where you know I'm punching it in, and I know my pops is watching me, and I'm going crazy in that end zone. Third quarter, and the game is all tied up. Coach has been yelling at the defense all game, and we need to give them a break as I abandon my route, making sure the QB has someone to throw it to, getting us past midfield, and things are looking in our favor. Getting back to that run game, though, from the 18-yard line, the O-line makes a big way for me, and I turn on the Jets, getting up the field for a big touchdown that might have NC State rethinking this game plan. But I wasn't done because the defense was holding us down. Fourth quarter, 2.5 minutes left in the game. I'm taking my time, letting my blocks get set up, finding that edge, turning on the boosters, and it's another tutty for the day. And no, I still wasn't done. Ball past midfield, the blocks are looking too good to pass up. I'm getting all the way down to the 21-yard line, and I jump right back up, flexing, letting the rest of the teams know I'm really back. Coach said run the clock out, but at the last second, QB gives me the ball. I run dude over at the 5-yard line, and the rest is history. I know we shouldn't have scored on that last drive, but look, the team wanted it, and so did I going into the next round of the playoffs. Big 204 rushing yards, even crazier, 111 in the air for 4 total touchdowns, and the Orange Bowl was ours. Now we got the Rose Bowl game against number 3 Georgia, and I knew we were in for a tough game, and unlike some of my teammates, I've been here before, and I knew what it was going to take to get a win tonight, and I was well prepared for the task at hand. Opening drive goes to us, and I'm trying to let Georgia know off rip what it is. Getting off the right edge, finally being brought down past midfield. 3rd and 18, time to put the ball in the air. I do what I need to do to get open, and the QB dots me as I get the first and not much more after that. From the 12, the right side of the field is looking too empty, and the guys find their blocks, and I'm taking off right for the end zone, and we score. Getting that first score out of the way quick. Defense holds Georgia to 3, and the passing game has gotten us to midfield where the DBs give me a little space, and I'm taking off again, easy 18 yards. But they weren't expecting from the 31. I'm finding a right lane, and it's taking 3 or 4 players to finally get me down. A couple of plays later from the 2, I get another opportunity to put my head down and fight to get into the end zone, and it's not looking good for Georgia early. After halftime, the score is 10-13 our way from the 16. I thought I was about to score again on the right side of the field, but my legs are immediately taken from under me at the 4. But the 4-yard line might as well be the 1-yard line, how easy the team makes it look as we walk in, putting some room in between us and the Bulldogs. Fast forward to the bottom of the 4th, and we're just running the clock out at this point, but the line opens up a hole, and I'm using the last of my energy, getting us down to the 2-yard line. Coach is yelling to kneel it, but I'm not showing any mercy this season. Let me get that ball, because I'm going right back in for the tutty and the icing on this game. The boys are too lit because they know with me carrying this team, we could possibly win it all. 191 rushing yards with 56 in the air for 4 total touchdowns is how we win this Rose Bowl game. Now it's time for the national championship game against the number 2 team in the country, Oklahoma. And I'm not going to lie, I had been battling a quiet injury this season, and somehow it had gotten back to the coach, who was not happy. He was going to let me play this game, but very lightly. And in hindsight, I appreciate that because he knew this was my last year playing college football. But when I did make an impact, it was the second quarter. The ball is on the 2-yard line. Our back against the end zone. I'm running through guys to get us out of danger. Coach calls the toss next, and the blocks are looking like a dream as I come around the edge, pushing my body to the limits, getting us 24 yards on the play. I knew if coach was going to sit me soon, I needed to make sure this was my best drive, breaking a couple of tackles here for only 4. Very next play would be my final one in a college jersey as I weave in and out, not thinking about the pain, giving it everything I had for a crazy 64-yard touchdown as I put the crown on my head for the last time, showing no pain, all confidence, because this season and however many more my pops was alive for was for him. Back-to-back national champion, where nothing changed but the color of my jersey. I was solidified as one of the greatest to ever do it. I know my pops was watching and probably had the prison jumping, because this was a game to remember. And that was it. That was my journey as a college player. We are currently still fighting for my pop's life. We haven't given up hope. Just know, I'm declaring for the NFL draft this upcoming season. The marathon continues.